Hello everybody, it's Astronomic here and welcome to another episode of my Hero Showcase. As promised, this week we are looking at, drumroll please, Broot, the tree dude, tanking, healing, yeah, him. That's pretty much what I can say about him. This video should be pretty straightforward. There's not much for me to explain really with Broot. He's a great tank. I still use him as my main tank now, even at level 75. I would recommend getting him as soon as possible. If that's all you wanted to know, you can leave the video now. The answer is yeah, he's good. Right, let's just have a quick look over the skills. Manual trigger, vines sprout and undergo incredible growth around all enemies, interrupting all their skills and causing spell damage. The damage is okay. He'll occasionally finish some heroes off, not very often though. The interrupt, however, is very handy if you can time it right. Any heroes with interrupts, to be honest, in all aspects can be useful as long as you're good with your timing. And that's the trigger ability, so you can actually kind of anticipate moves being used and use it as such, as opposed to like Hakulu, who we looked at last week, where his interrupts are all just automatic triggers, so a bit of a sort of dice roll, whereas this one, there's a little bit of skill involved, but if you can do it, then happy days. Symbiotic Seed, plant seed on the ally with the lowest HP, which heals surrounding allies. This is really good. He'll often use it on himself or someone else in the front line, so it'll mean that the front line gets healed up, so it makes the front line a lot tankier. So in that respect, really handy. But occasionally you can save other people as well. If you've got Broot and Lord Odem, great, because both of them healing people up means you'll have a lot of sustained. And it might mean that you might not need to use the likes of Nago, people like that. Husk, create a thick hide that blocks damage 5 times, then heals. Another self-heal, great, means that he's even more sustainable. And Breeze Halo, increase allies' attack speed of Enchanting Breeze. Attack speed by 14.1. Can't say no to that. Self-explanatory, just does what it says on the tin. It'll increase your allies' attack speed. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, so in terms of how you get Broot, unfortunately this is the only downside, is you need to get him from the expedition, which is here. You've got Hakulu and Broot. Now I spoke about Hakulu and Broot last week. If you're just starting the game, focus on Broot. That's my recommendation. Some people might say otherwise, but my recommendation is get Broot. When you get him, he'll transform your expedition. He'll mean that you can clear much later waves. Because of his self-heal, it means that you can keep him up a lot longer. And he'll carry on to the later stage of the expedition much easier than the likes of Athos or maybe even Aldros as well. So yeah, get him as quickly as you can. Once you've got him, as soon as you can, get tokens of both. You need to be trying to clear getting 800 of these tokens every single day to make sure that you can buy both tokens, 5 lots each, and you can start upgrading. Broot does come at a 2 stars, so that is kind of beneficial because you get him earlier, but then obviously you've got to upgrade him. But there we go. That is how you get Broot. Now I'm just going to do a quick run through to show you Broot in action. What shall we go for? Choices. Let's go with something more recent. Yeah, let's go with this. No, boss fight. No. Let's not go for a boss fight because tanks are pretty much useless for boss fights anyway. Let's go back one step. I don't want to fail on a dungeon and embarrass myself on YouTube. Let's go with this one. This one should be fine. Okay, so for our team, we will put Broot in. Even though he is lower level, I'm going to put Aldros in just so you can see how 2 tanks can synergize if one of them is Broot. Because Aldros gives the shield for the full team, and then when the shield drops, that's normally when Broot's heal will probably kick in, so then he'll use the heal on the front line and it will just make them a lot more sustained with the shield and the heal. We will do Odem, as I said about the synchronization there, with some nice heals. We won't need Nago with all that sustain, so let's get Rempor in for some DPS and Kira, because I'm currently leveling her. Kyra, I don't know how you say it, but I'm currently leveling her. She's pretty badass. She will probably die, that is my guess. But she'll do flips and cool stuff, so... Right. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's give that a go. Okay, so there you see the shield in action. A lot of people keep asking about Aldros, what I think of him. I will be covering him pretty soon, in the next couple of weeks. But then once I have done all the main heroes and covered the ones that I really like, then I'll be doing a detailed analysis of like roles. So I'll be looking at the contrast between tanks, who's good, positives and negatives of each compared to each other, as opposed to just looking at individual heroes. So I'll go over it more then. For the time being, all I'm just going to say is there's a few problems with Aldros. Notably, one of his abilities seems to be a little bit glitchy. And I don't really like the lack of sustain. And Broot gives a lot more alternatives as well. He brings more to the table than just tanking. He's got his interrupts. I'll show you that. He's got his heal, and he's got his self damage reduction as well. And he's got the attack speed buff, so you can't really say no to that. I think if Aldros had an AoE stun rather than just individual stun, which you'll see there, if he had an AoE stun, I think that would really help him out and bring him more to the kind of on the same level as Broot. But for me personally, I much prefer Broot at the moment. We kind of cleared that quite easily. Let's we can just go hell for leather now in this final one. Let's see Kara just go crazy. But you can see there, I mean, I didn't have Nago. I didn't need him. All my heroes are pretty much at full health. I mean, Aldros has dropped down. Kyra died predictably because she's squishy as hell. But Aldros is staying up. Well, I say that now. You've got the heals coming from both the Broot and Lord Odem. And that the two of them allow you to free up the slot with not using Nago, and they also provide DPS, which Nago really doesn't. There you go, we're back to full health pretty much again. Odem could drop another Infernal on them. As usual, I'll look at the stats. It's not really relevant in Broot's case because he's really not... Oh, I got leveled up. Oh, awesome. 4 more levels to go till max level. Come on. Ah, that's awesome. That's my first level up on stream. On stream. Not streaming. YouTubing. Stream. Whatever. I leveled up. I'm happy. And there you go. 50,000. Like I say, it's not fantastic, but, you know, him and Odem do actually provide okay DPS compared to the likes of Nago. Sometimes you will still need to use Nago, but it just gives you an alternative. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. That is Broot. As I said, as soon as you can get him, definitely get him. He will help you out in the early stages. If you're still using Athos, then 100% get him, because he's like 1,000,000 times better than Athos. So yeah, that's it. Haven't decided which hero I'm going to be doing next week. I will have a think in the next week. If you have anything that you'd like to request, then just pop it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. You'll have seen from previous videos that generally the ones that people request are the ones that I'll cover, just to make sure that I'm sort of showing you guys what you need to see. So yeah, if you need to see a hero, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, I'll have a think and I'll probably post it in my video on Wednesday. I'll let you know which one it's going to be. Thanks guys, and catch you later.